As entrepreneurs, as business owners, we're never truly celebrating, the good things that are happening in our lives. We never truly sit back, reflect, and look at the gain, where we were and where we are, where we come from, what we were born into.
I get emotional, bro. Like, seriously. As entrepreneurs, at the end of the day,
It's hard.
it's hard, but this is exactly what we wanted when we embarked on this journey.
It's easy to know this stuff, and then when a bag of bricks hits you in the face, you're not thinking about that anymore. Like Tyson said, right? You got to plan until you get hit in the face.
Welcome back to the All In Podcast. I am your host, Carlos Reyes, and I am sitting here with the usual suspects straight across from me. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the Mandingo. Zayda! To my left, I got Adrian Salgado, aka Born Closer. All right, that's the way you start the show. But anyway, listen.
I like that opening more than
Today we
most
have
interesting
today we have a little bit of a different type of show. Okay, let me just explain what's going on here, and this is why you definitely want to stick around. Over the past 3 to 4 weeks, we just been going down, and talking about all the challenges that we have as business owners, all the challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis as entrepreneurs, right? We talk about, do I have the right product or service? Am I in the right industry? Do I have the right team behind me? Do I have the right systems and processes? Am I leveraging the right resources to expand and grow my company? So we've just been talking about all the ups and downs, the roller coaster that business brings to us consistently as entrepreneurs. But we haven't talked about the freedom, the flip side to that coin, right? The freedom that it brings to all of us, the fulfillment that it brings to every single one of us on the other side of that coin. We always talk about the challenges. We always talk about the heartaches, the betrayals, the losses, the uphill climb that a lot of this building takes. But what about the freedom? What about the flexibility? What about the control of one's destiny? What about the fact that we get to be architects of our own lives? We get to design our life, right? And some people, by the way, there's a book out there called The Gap and the Gain. And that book specifically breaks down how, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as eight players, as go-getters, we're never truly celebrating, the good things that are happening in our lives because of our efforts and because of God's grace and because of the businesses that we're building, right? We're constantly living in what some people would call the gap, like where we are and where we want to be, right? We never truly sit back, reflect, and look at the gain, where we were, right? Where we were and where we are, where we come from, what we were born into, what it took to even get here, everything that it's taken, to be operating the way we operate, to be, to try to be better parents than our parents were, try to be better human beings than the average human beings on a spiritual, mental aspect of it. Hey, I'll get you back to the show in just a second. I just wanted to come on here real quick and encourage you that if you are a business owner that's looking for top level coaching and a great community because you're experiencing challenges in your business, all you got to do is click the link right in the description and we'll reach out with more information. Now back to the show. And I think what sparked this conversation today, Adrian, right? Credit to you is, as many of you know, we have a community. We have a business community. It's called Empresarios, right? And everybody this morning was just posting themselves taking their kids to work.
To school.
I have, taking their kids to school, right? Right? Everybody, all the kids are back in school. And I saw so many people taking their babies to school. And you know what I was most proud of? It was a lot of dads.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many dads
Emily recognized that.
taking the kids to school. So that clearly sparked a sense of gratitude
Immediately.
and perspective, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we spend the next 20 to 25 minutes, talking about all the beautiful things that paying this heavy price on the other side, right?
Yeah.
What it brings into our lives, into the lives of our children, of our wives, and the people around us. Why don't we start there?
I get emotional, bro. Like, seriously, my eyes are tearing up right now, and it's simply because as entrepreneurs, you call it what you want. At the end of the day,
It's hard.
it's hard, but this is exactly what we wanted when we embarked on this journey.
Well, how about when we had jobs?
When we had jobs,
How about when we had jobs, we felt like we were, prisoners in a cage.
absolutely. We talked about this previously. Well, you and I talked about this privately, where it's like there was times where my tithing at church, it was as much as I was making on a weekly basis
At work?
at an old job.
Wow.
And
Wow, what a blessing.
What a blessing that was,
Wow.
right? And the times that we're in, we're in the dark time, or we're in the struggling times, we're in the challenging times, we're in the rebuilding times, we're in the next phases of our business. All of those things, we have to remember that's exactly what we stayed up late at night with no other option but to pray, Lord, take me out of this situation that I'm currently in, so I can be in something much more fruitful, much more, fulfilling at the end of the day. And when we get to that, we forget that, this is what we prayed for all the time. And so as an entrepreneur, like you said, it's the gap in the gain. If you forget where you're coming from or where you were at, it's like, having to pay taxes, right? I told my dad this. I was like, man, if I'm having to pay this much in taxes, that means I'm doing something right.
Mm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
You're not going to H&R Block.
I'm not going to H&R.
Hoping for that nice, tax. What do they call it? The tax.
The refund.
The refund that remember?
Yeah.
Right when we were super broke. Right when we were super broke, we couldn't wait for tax season because we had a nice little check coming our way. 3,000, 5,000, whatever it was, we had a nice little tax refund coming our way, and we were already spending that check before it was even, it was even fabricated.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we would do, right? Even the sense of like taking my son to school, and which again, this is what sparked the conversation, is my son goes to a school where they don't have buses. You realize that? Well, like our kids go to school where they don't have buses, and now we are able to. It's mandatory for us to be able to drop our kids off. So there's an individual that doesn't even qualify to have their kids to go to that school simply because they don't have the ability to go and take their children.
I got this message when I was abiding in the morning, and it's so relevant to this topic, which is crazy because I had no say-so on what we're going to talk about. You brought it up, and this is the message. Jesus didn't focus on what was missing. He thanked God for what was there, and God multiplied it in miraculous ways. Gratitude opens the door for God's provision and reminds us that everything we have comes from Him. So, that hits home because we're talking about the little things, right? Like driving your son to school. My children aren't old enough for that yet, but I can wake up and play with them a little bit before I leave. In midday, if something is going on, I could come home and work the rest of my day in my office that I just built in my house. If something happens family related, you don't need to ask permission to have that time off. I think those things are, it doesn't matter how much you make. You said this a little bit earlier. It doesn't matter how much you make. It matters. Doing those things matter. They matter to your family. Like what happens if your son has an event at 1 p.m. midday? normally speaking, for a normal job, oh, honey, sorry, I can't make it. Oops, and then 20 of those now you miss. But now, yeah, I could leave for an hour or two, go handle that, go be there, be present, and then come back. And like those things, if we focus on and having gratitude for those things, again, it's written, the abundance in our life is just going to multiply. But the difficult part is we focus on the negative. Oh, this deal isn't closing today. It's going to close tomorrow. Or, oh, I got to go in and do a price reduction. Or, oh, this foundation damage was found on this house. We focus on these negatives and not look at them as we should be appreciative of these things because they build us to be better men. We could handle these situations a little bit better. But yeah, I'm so grateful for what I could do. And obviously I just had a family emergency. I got to go to LA, and I'm able to do that. I'm not going to say, oh, I need to wait until the weekend
Friday
or
Saturday.
yeah, exactly, or wait until next week, or put time off and wait for an approval, whatever. It's just these little things matter a lot.
We've been going through a transitional / rebuilding season now for about 3 years.
I don't like to call it a rebuilding. I call it a next phase, because you continuously in business, there's never a finished product. It's ever evolving. It's ever growing. There's another phase coming up, or there's another phase coming up. We built the businesses. We know what the businesses are, right?
Yeah. Well, they say that the only thing constant in business is change.
Unless your business is gonna die, then there's no change.
And it's true. I'll call it a transitional. We've been going through a 3-year evolution.
There you go.
Yeah, I like
Right.
that.
And it's been tough. It's been tough. This year, finally, I started to see a little bit of breathing room this year.
Praise God.
But the last 3 years, from 2022 all the way to 2025, we've been through, hiring C-suite executives that didn't work out, going on different ventures that didn't work out, partnering up with the wrong people that didn't work out, hiring the wrong people. I think in one situation or one instance, we hired a controller for the finance department. Remember, hired 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The old man that fell asleep on the desk, we fired him. Then we fired the guy that lied, and he got in. He didn't know how to work QuickBooks, right? And it was like, that was a big mess. So that he lasted a week, right? So
A married guy that was picking up on VAs.
that was a different situation. We been through a lot. We've been betrayed for millions of dollars. We've had employees on the way out leave us holding the bag. We had employees steal from us on the way out. We had employees be dishonest. By the way, I'm saying all this to say one thing, but before I say that one thing, here's what I want to say. To every person that's watching or listening out there, if you're on the ownership side, right, just know that your frustration or anger at many times doesn't come from what's happening to you, right? It comes from we as intellectuals. Most entrepreneurs are very intellectual, right? We're problem solvers. Some of the here, ready? In every single instant or instance, I can recall when there was a betrayal through a partner, or when there was a betrayal, someone was stealing as a partner, someone was stealing as an employee. I can recall one thing and one thing only that would make me upset. Ready? It wasn't the fact that you're a piece of you know what, right? It wasn't the fact that you're a POS. That wasn't the fact. Like, okay, you're a POS. That sucks. We move on, right? No, it was in many cases, and I know I've said this to you. It was the fact that you thought I was either that stupid or you were that smart. Think about it, right? Like, you know, when we had, you know, our old, back in like 4 or 5 years ago, our personal development guy, business development guy, when our business development guy was about to exit and there was a lot of lies and a lot of deception going on, I'm just sitting back like this, right? I'm like, man, dude, like, you either think I'm this stupid or you're that smart.
I remember in that.
So which one is it?
In that situation, I remember he refused to get on the phone with you or see you in person. I remember that.
Yeah.
He was just like, you know, like
Well,
talking through other people.
There's
because,
shame, right?
because
There's
he couldn't do that.
the guilt and shame is probably gonna always be there. You know, it's always
That's
gonna be
to
there.
me that was the giveaway. You know, it's like
Yeah,
you
I
can't
saw another
confront someone
situation.
man to
Ready?
man.
Here, ready? And I know we're going down, but I'm gonna make a point. Ready? A realtor that we used to work with, which I love very much. I think he's a great guy. He's a good human being. I know him. I know his dad. You know, we're selling. You know, we're I think we sold three of our flips. For people out there that don't know what a flip is, we bought a house, we buy a house, we renovate a house, and then we list a house and sell a house, right? So I think we sold 3 flips in like one day last week.
Yeah.
It was amazing, right? And then I get a DM from the realtor says, "Why am I not your realtor?" Right? Well, in obviously I have enough love and respect for the guy to just be like, you know, like, "Hey brother, you know, it is what it is, like, you know, things have changed, whatever," which is kind of what my response was. But the reality is this, right? Is I don't like to associate myself with people that associate themselves with people that I don't associate with. Now, let me repeat that just in case you missed it. I don't like to associate myself with people who associate themselves with people that I consciously choose not to associate myself with. You get what I'm saying? So that's the real reason. And the point that I'm making is this, right? And this all comes to mind because a guy that I used to mentor, he's become a friend. We were working out this morning and he goes, he's suing 3 different people. He's suing with 3 different lawyers in 3 different states.
Jeez.
And he goes, he like, I love him, but he pounds his chest. You have to remember, bro, I'm a little older and I've been around the block. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've lost a lot. I've spent a lot. You know what I mean? So like, it's tough, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's tough. It's tough sitting in my seat. You know what I mean? When someone like gets off the phone and they're like, "Business is war, huh? Business is war." Bro, imagine like where I am in my life at my age, you know, my level of consciousness, intellect, and spirituality, right? It's like, I chose to not even say anything. I was just like, yeah, bro, you know, business is tough. It happens, man. But you know what I really wanted to say? What I said in the community chat this morning. Remember, did you see the 5-minute conversation?
No, I didn't. What it was?
That's too bad. Anybody in here see it? You should really take a look at that. And I'll tell you why. Because if you believe business is war, then that's what you're going to get every day.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Business is war. Yeah. All right. Well, just be ready to go to war every day then.
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe business is war, which is what you're going to say, what?
No, I would say, which is interesting, right? Because I didn't watch that video, but I came to the same conclusion that it is what you say it is.
Boom. Ready?
It's a collaboration.
This all,
Yeah.
you know how I like to
Full circle it.
I like to full circle everything, right? If you know me, you just know that you just got to keep up. I'll bring it back.
I'll bring it back.
Right? I go on rants and then I bring it back to, oh, that makes sense, right? Here we go. So, no. You know what I started thinking, brother, after I went through millions of dollars in losses and betrayal, you know, employee stealing, partner stealing, people lying, you know, wrong ventures, whatever you want to call it. You know what I've learned? I'm like, dude, I actually don't want to do business with anyone that is causing friction or resistance. And I get it. Like life's not perfect. And in business, yes, you're gonna, you're gonna go through challenges. That's gonna happen. But it's a matter of how you respond to those challenges. I think that's where 80 to 90% of the battle is actually won. It's how you respond to the roller coasters of business, the peaks, the mountains, or the peaks and the valleys, right? Because you can watch this. I think that I had this convo with you last week, right?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
Right? Where it was like, we put our flips up there and they're like, it's a roller coaster. You're like, oh my God, are we going to sell our deals? Oh God, we got all this money tied up, and oh my God, our pipeline. Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, we sell 3 deals in one day. How about you just ride it on what did I tell you to do on the way down? On the way down?
Throw your hands up.
Woo!
It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster,
Great
right?
analogy, yeah.
Throw your hands up on the way down. And just be like, hey, it's all good. It's going to work itself out. I've been through this 1,000 times. It always works out at the end. God always provides at the end, especially if you're a Christian, right? Oof. That's what I was talking to my wife about this morning. You know that I'm very big on this, and now you've been getting to know that side of me now. Like, yo, why is your ideology the way it is, right? Remember I was telling you because it has been physically proven to me 1,000 times through our Heavenly Father that He's going to provide and He's going to create a way. So I blindly follow my Heavenly Father. I blindly follow my Lord Christ. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm 4 decades in and it's always worked out that way. Yeah. What do you want me to do? It's proven itself. God has proven Himself over and over and over and over. So why should any situation be, or any challenge be any different? Why should I expect a different result if that's not what God has given me over the past 4 decades?
You can't completely feel the grace of God unless you have peace, the peace of God.
Oof.
And I heard this yesterday. I've been listening to the Blue Letter Bible, right? And
Oof.
if you actually click on a verse, there's audios. And Chuck Smith, he's an old pastor. He started like Calvary Church. Remember that Jesus Revolution, I think, is the name of the movie that came out. Chuck Smith was the old white guy that let the hippies in, right?
Mm.
And he was talking. I've just been listening to his sermons, bro, every day, every night before I go to bed. And he was talking about, and he was like, you can't have peace. You can have peace in God. Like, I know God's there and it's peaceful, but you will never have peace of God unless you fully understand the grace of God.
Mm.
What does that mean? The grace of God. And it goes back to what we're saying. God allows us. We get to do things I get to wake up today, right? I get to be able to get on my knees as soon as I wake up and say a prayer for the people that are still alive in my life. I get to, if you start to,
you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Now, everybody that's out there watching and listening, remember what he just said. Change that have to mindset, ideology, perspective to what? I get to.
Yeah.
I get to. Right? I get to go to the gym this morning at 6 a.m, right? I went to the gym at 6 a.m. You know why I get to? Because I have a 35-year-old friend that just passed away 2 days ago from colon cancer at the age of 35. He doesn't get to wake up today. Wow. He doesn't get to see his 2 boys today. He doesn't get to go to the gym today. He doesn't get to go to work today. He doesn't get to call his mom today. He doesn't get to tell his wife he loves her today. So we get to. We don't have to. And that's the way that I've been shifting my whole mindset too. It's like, I get to.
It's a faithful optimist, right?
Yeah.
It's a faithful, righteous optimism that we run through, or that we live by, where we're constantly just saying like, you know what? Yeah, we hired a CEO and a CFO and things didn't go well, but guess what? We got to bounce back from that. We had the grace of God that we were able to bounce back and still continue on this path that we're on, right? And just continuing to see, it's that small tweak in the way you perceive things, right? You can sit here and say, "Oh, this happened to me too," but it's like, this happened once again. It didn't happen to you; it happened for you. Why? Because it's going to be a learning experience, and it's either going to make you more aware, or it's going to just increase your confidence that you did the right thing.
Two things with that. Number one, you can't have faith and fear at the same time.
They cannot coexist.
Exactly. And if you don't have faith, then God is not with you.
Oof.
Because there is no fear with God. So anytime we feel fear, we're turning a blind eye to God.
100%. It's from the enemy for sure.
And secondly, it's anytime you have growth, you have pain. So we have identified pain with bad. Pain is bad. But, when you work out and you tear your muscle, you're tearing it.
That's right.
You're hurting yourself. And then it grows stronger. So it's the same thing, going with what you were saying with the CEOs, with hiring people. Oh my God, this guy screwed us. Oh my God, this happened. Oh my God, this employee did this. Oh my God, this deal fell apart. It's happening for you to make you stronger, and it's going to hurt. So I'll take the pain to get stronger rather than avoid the pain to not get stronger. I mean, something happened, I'm a 5'4", and I didn't get any growth pain, So, that's why maybe I stayed 5'4". So, I would take a lot of pain to get to 6'4", bro. Why not? Whatever. But just tying it back to the original thought, man.
For sure.
It's fear and faith, man. And it's so easy to say. Wait until you're in a shitty situation. Wait until the devil's breathing down your neck.
Oof.
Then say that,
Well,
right?
here, think about this too, right? Because I was thinking about this on the way. Now I switched over from listening to the Blue Letter Bible to listening to a stand-up comedian that I just found out about today.
What's his name?
Orlando Leyva. He's
funny?
This dude's hilarious.
There's just a lot of people out there that people say they're funny, but they're really not funny.
Bro, I was crying on the way in.
Okay, he's probably funny.
Yeah, but and I just took this concept,
Send me
right?
some
You got to think
links.
about it. During the COVID times, right? People were
Koofid.
yeah.
You
or
can't say
whatever.
that word.
Yeah,
It suppresses the algo. No, is it
I
over?
don't think. I think that's
We're good?
over. Once again, that
COVID away.
that thing, right? So the common flu, right? The common flu during 2020, when all this stuff was going on, people were praying for it to go away. Like we were praying, and specifically my family, my wife had a really hard time with it.
For sure, yeah.
So she was praying and praying and praying for it to go away. But then you also, if you pray for it to go away, guess what? It's gone, right? But now there's other things that we're praying to go away for. So you got to be careful because you're praying for this one thing like, man, I just wish this common flu was no longer here. And then now we're 5 years down the road.
The next thing you know, there's like a rabies
And there's
epidemic or
not
something.
Not only that, but you might be in a different type of pain.
Yeah.
That you're like being trapped in a house all day doesn't seem that bad anymore. So it's just, once again, it's just perspective.
100%.
Being grateful. This is why this whole, I threw that topic out there because it's like, you got to remember the times that the joy in the suck, right? You got to enjoy the suck, right? The things
Trust the process, enjoy the journey, right? Embrace the suck, right? There's so many sayings out there, and we always think that a lot of these sayings are like cliche, right? They're like, oh, just another Instagram saying, right? And then you find out that, you get older and that, it's written in the Bible, right? About do not fear. It's written in the Bible 365 times. That's one for every single day of the year. Like, I don't think that was accidental.
No.
Right? No. So.
And all these sayings exist because it's obvious, it's universal, but we're human. We're not robots. We're not AI. So it's easy to know this stuff. And then when a bag of bricks hits you in the face and then all of a sudden, you're not thinking about that anymore. Like Tyson said, right? You got to plan until you get hit in the face. It's literally the same concept, It's like, all right, I'm gratitude. I'm going to be positive, gratitude, positive. And then boom, you get smacked in the face. And now your ego gets a little bit involved. Or you have this pain and you got to like, well, I got pain. I got to give pain, like hurt people, right? So it's very challenging to stay in that mindset. And I think that's what stoicism is. That's what that teaches you, to always be in this moment of gratitude and just knowing that it's happening for you and not against you.
I wanna start winding it down with two things. Okay. Number one is I want to just go around the room real quick and in 1 minute describe something that happened today that you're just very grateful for. That and the fact that, you know, if you didn't have the freedom you have and the flexibility that you have doing what you do,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been possible. Right? Because I want everybody out there that's watching and listening to also reflect upon their life, something that happened today, you know, that brought you a lot of spiritual fulfillment, that you were like, you know what? This makes all this
Yeah.
pain worth it. Right? This makes all this pressure worth it. You know what I mean? For me, it was, you know, taking my baby girl to school, you know, taking my 7-year-old to school this morning. You know, this is the second day in a row that I take her. Usually I take my 13-year-old, but I've been really enjoying taking my baby girl to school, man.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, it's like, imagine, bro, like, you know, your 7-year-old comes out and she's like, Dad, do you like my hair? You know, like, one day she's not going to ask me if I like her hair. Dad, are you going to take me to school? One day she's not going to care if I take her to school or not. One day I'm not going to be able to take her to school. And I like to mess with her. I'm like, baby, I'm just going to drop you off up front, okay? And she's like, no, Dad, walk me to my class. I never drop her off. I always walk her to her class.
Wow, you do? I've never heard anyone.
I always
do
walk
that.
her I walk her all the way into her
Is
class.
that normal? I've never heard.
Bro,
anyone do that.
I take her.
That's great.
I take her folders and her water bottle and I put it in her little cubby and
that's
you know what I mean, like I sit there and I make sure she gets all situated and watch this. This is how you know
It's a
she's
damn
so
good
great.
example for her not
This
to
how she-
settle for anything less. You know.
This is how she knows. Like I had a sense of like, you know, she felt so prideful and grateful for me as her father being there with her, right? Like showing me off.
Mm.
You know, like our children tend to do that. They tend to show us off, right? Because they just, you know, we're their superheroes. They love us. They look up to us, you know. They think we're the strongest people in the world. You know, we're the greatest, brightest people in the world. So she gives me a big hug right in the middle of the class. And then I just, you know, I'm just like, okay, baby, I love you. Have a great day. And I'm walking out and then her teacher's outside still. A couple students are around the door. And then she's like, Dad, give me one more hug on my way out.
Mm.
And then she comes out, she runs, and she hugs me so hard to the point where she's almost clinging on me, right?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So to me,
Wow.
you know,
Have you ever hugged your mom like that?
I have. I have. I'm very close to my mom, but to me, that right there, that situation, me being able to drop my kids off at school, that's priceless. It's worth everything. It's worth all the trials, the tribulations, the betrayals, the losses, the pain. You know, it's worth everything. So I hope that anybody out there, especially the fathers, the dads out there that are watching and listening, I hope that, you know, this inspires them and pushes them to work on some things that, you know, one day they're going to be very proud of when it's all said and done. Small, even if they might seem like small things, but they end up being the biggest things. So what's something you're grateful for today? Give me a situation and then we're going to wind down. We're going to close the show.
Yeah, my wife might get pissed at me, but you know, you're asking. So, you know, recently we went to Los Angeles for my daughter's baptism, and we would have done it here, but we wanted to do it there because her dad, you know, is on a wheelchair. He was on his way out, right? So it's very important to me, not having parents, that my children know their grandparents as much as they can until
For sure.
they can't.
Yep.
So, you know, we decided to do it in LA. So I was so grateful that we could do it there. Anyways, we did it there. And my wife, she's like, look, I don't know how much time he's got left. And I told her, so I'm grateful that I have the ability for my wife not to work and for my children not to be in daycare, for me to say, stay here, stay as long as you want. I want to see my children daily, but I understand the importance of the situation.
Yeah.
And it's very meaningful for me to have my children and you specifically by your father at this time.
That's right.
And he passed away today,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that she was there, that they were there.
Absolutely.
And I didn't have to deal with my wife being here and having that mindset of like, I can't believe I wasn't there when my father passed away, because I wouldn't be able to handle that, and so I'm super grateful that I'm in a position to make sure that she's able to feel that, to have had that experience. And my son, he in Armenian, he when they found his body, he passed away at home. So my son kissed his forehead and he said, "God bless you" in Armenian.
Oh, wow.
So like,
What a
he's a
blessing.
2-year-old, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
wow.
But he said that, and it was,
What a
pretty
blessing.
amazing. Yeah.
What a
Pretty
blessing.
big. It's a horrible situation, but life is life, and it's a
Yeah.
blessing to be able to go out like that,
That's right. That's right. What about you?
So interesting enough, right? I was driving Isaiah to school this morning, and I look in my rearview mirror, and it's my cousin. He runs an air conditioner company, HVAC company.
Is it the guy that I know
Yeah.
with the beard or no?
Yes, he used to play softball with us. But I look back. It's his truck. I look back, and he's in it, with my other cousin, right? And I'm
Where are
about
they
to-
going? Are they going to the school or going to work?
They're going to work.
Oh,
They're in their truck, in the business that he runs, and he's going. It's 7:30 in the morning,
yeah.
and he's heading to his job, right?
Yeah.
He's heading to the job that he does. Now, granted, he is the owner of the company, but he's still in a work truck having to go do these things.
Yeah.
And it comes full circle because that was the first job that I had
Air conditioning?
with him.
Wow.
As
Wow.
I used to
And now
ride-
you're sitting there dropping your boy off at school, which you've been doing since he began school.
Yeah, and this is
Like,
that's
amazing.
And he's doing the same thing that I was doing when I got out of high school in 2000.
Does he have kids?
Yeah, his kids are grown. They're older. He has a grandson now too.
But he doesn't get to drop off any of the kids. Never.
No, they're even when they were going to school, he didn't have that luxury.
And that's very common,
Yeah.
right? Especially for us men.
And it
It's
even
like
goes
we
with
go to
business owners as well too.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. Yeah. Yeah.
So whether you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and you're stuck in that, right? That doesn't just because you're the owner of the business, and you're building something for a legacy, you can't miss out on the things that are happening right now, right? And then number two, if you're not an entrepreneur, you're missing out on the same things that we've missed out on, but now we refuse to. As entrepreneurs, we jumped off. We said no. That's the one thing that forever, the rest of my life, my daughter's 4 now, I'm gonna take my kids to school every single day.
There you go.
Love that.
Every single day.
And you know what? You mentioned something that I believe everybody needs to hear out there. Okay, whether you have a job or own a business, right? If you have a job, it shouldn't feel like a cage. Okay. There's an old saying: if you do what you love, you'll never work a day of your life. A job shouldn't feel like a cage. Your business shouldn't feel like a cage. And don't exchange one cage for another cage. Right? If anybody out there that is watching or listening and needs help breaking down that cage that you've built for yourself in your business, text SCALE to 623-292-7575. Text SCALE to 623-292-7575. And my closing remarks are these. Business is not war. It shouldn't be. And you shouldn't be always looking for your next battle.
Because you'll find it.
You will find it.
Well,
Okay?
and
I'm going to go around the room, and I want you to end the sentence the way that I'm going to put my version of it, then you go around and put your version of it, of what your perspective is that business is or should be. Ready?
Yeah.
For me, business is a playground. For me, business is a playground. As adults, we get to still play. We just play a little different. We play with real money. We play with real products, real services, not toys, right? Business is a playground. That's my opinion. What about you, Zadie? Business is? A movie?
Business business isn't always go, 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 go.
No, but what is it? You have to describe. Business is A. You just got to fill in the blank.
Well, I want to say something. I don't know how to fill it in the blank, so let me just say it.
Okay.
So maybe you could change it into a sentence.
All right.
But it's not go, 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 go and get the reward. Sometimes you got to take your foot off the gas pedal. And when you do that, that's when the rewards come. I say that because, sometimes I'm like making 100 calls, making offers, doing this. And then my wife says, hey, can we go do this? And I'm like, oh, if we do that, I'm taking time away from this. But it's amazing because when I stop and I go focus on that, all of a sudden my phone rings and things get
Good
going.
things happen.
Good things happen.
Boom.
So how would you take that and make it a 2-sentence?
Business is a marathon? Not a
race,
sprint?
Not a sprint, yeah. Be the tortoise, not the hare.
Speaking of tortoises,
What does that mean?
business is A, fill in the blank.
Business is comical.
Business is comical.
Comical. Got
How about business is a comedy show?
No, it's comical. It's bro, you have to think about it. We're able to, it's comical. Things happen to us and it's like all you can do, like things are going so completely wrong that it's like all you can do is just sit there and laugh. And
That's
like,
true.
damn, And then even when things are going 110% right and it's just pouring blessings on you,
Yeah, which we've
you
seen.
sit there and you laugh, be like, I can't believe this
This is
happened.
great.
Yeah.
This is great, right? So
Next thing you know, you're shirtless and we're on a jet.
I'm shirtless, I'm on a jet, right?
True story.
Or
story.
or I can find myself shirtless in the street thinking like, damn, how did this happen?
Damn.
Oh,
So at the end of the day, pick where you want to be shirtless.
Oof.
I'll take a jet.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And I want to hear from you in the comments down below. Business is A. Go ahead and fill in the blank.
Oof.
We'll see you next week.